Hey guys, welcome back. I got a package from Ron, and also going to go ahead and do my weekly roundup since tomorrow is or technically today is Thanksgiving. Probably won't get around to it during the day, so technically it is Thursday morning. So I'll go ahead and get that out of the way as well. So first, got a nice little package from Ron. More records from his collection that I've bought. I've already cut the box open to get everything started. And first thing we've got is some Billy Joel. There's this 52nd Street and Glass Houses, which I think we already have. And then Anthrax Soldiers of Metal EP. This is a live EP from I think I want to say 86. Yeah. So this was recorded in 86 in Germany. And the tracks are Soldiers of Metal, Metal Trash You Mad, Howling Furies, Anthrax, Panic, and Death Rider. So I would assume that since it was from 86 that Belladonna's on this one doing those songs. And then more Anthrax in the collection. Sound of White Noise, the first with John Bush on vocals. And the first Bush Anthrax on vinyl that I have now. I do have all except for the last one that he put out on CD, which is We Come For You All, which was, I want to say 2003, I think, when that one came out. The final studio album they did with John Bush of Armored Saint. There we go. Finally getting back in the plastic. And then I had also got the Hyrax albums, Raging Violence, which is their debut from '85. This is a original pressing on Metal Blade. And also Fear and Power, also on Metal Blade Records. This was 86, their second album, I believe. Fantastic. Also an original pressing. So now I finally have some Hyrax on vinyl. Bay Area crossover thrash, if you're not familiar with them. And that's it for the box. Now we'll go ahead, as always, start with the CDs. The first one was a recent purchase, Killbox 13 from Overkill. Looked up afterwards. I know my video where I showed that I purchased them, I did not know the year, but I do now. It's 2003 is when this came out. So the album After Bloodletting. This next one is a comp, and you can kind of see the bands here. This is Dying Victims Productions. And it's got a lot of new bands like Venator, Tension, Tangent, Cherokee, Harbinger, Spectre, Fate's Hand, Galaxy, Armory, Knife, Karloff, Destructo, Sex Mag, Reaper, Vicious Knights, and Hexenbrick. So kind of a mix of new wave of traditional heavy metal, a little bit of thrash in there. Then we got some Polish death metal with Vader's Necropolis. The only thing I have from them on CD, I do have De Profundis also on vinyl. Would love to get more of their stuff. And some Ozzy solo with the Randy Rhoads tribute album. Love to get a copy of that on vinyl. One that I do also have on vinyl, as well as this CD, classic Rain and Blood 1986 Slayer. And another recent purchase, November's Doom, Pale Haunt Departure, which I want to say when I looked it up, this was 2005. Chicago-based Death Doom, very reminiscent of the UK Death Doom stuff. Then we have some modern-ish Judas Priest, Angel of Retribution, the reunion album with vocalist Rob Halford. And we've got some Devil Driver with the Last Kind Word, their third full-length album, and my personal favorite. I think with each of the first three albums, I think they had a different, like, complete lineup. Then we'll go to some Florida death metal. DSI, Scars of the Crucifix. Last album they would do with the Hoffman Brothers. It also comes with a DVD. Then New York's very own Riot, traditional metal, Narita or Narita, not quite sure how that's spelled. Absolutely the worst mascot in metal. Then some Morbid Angel with Gateways to Annihilation, which I believe was the second album they did with Steve Tucker on vocals. Speaking of Hyrax that I showed a couple records from, this is their most recent album, Faster Than Death. And I want to say this is 2025. Pretty sure. It's 2024. Well, it was mixed and mastered in 2024. So I think it was actually 2024 album, but didn't get released until this year, I think. And then we have the Nativity in Black 2, Black Sabbath tribute album, Diamond. Trying to keep the dog from going in the bathroom. And a couple more. We've got the new album from Hooded Menace, Lachrymose Monuments of Obscuration. Good Death Doom here. My second time listening to that. Hopefully maybe you get a couple more spins of that before January's video. And then the only thing I have from this German thrash band, Tankard, a girl called Cerveza. This was, I think, 2013. No, 2012. I was close. 1 year off isn't bad. Now to the vinyl, got a lot of that. I did call in sick on Monday, so I had an extra day of spinning. Spiritual Healing from Death, their third one, came out in 1990. This is on Relapse. I think the reissue was done by them. I'm not quite sure who did the who put it out originally. I think Relapse did all the reissues, if I'm not mistaken. Speaking of Anthrax, one of the ones I got from Ron, Spreading the Disease, second album, 1985. I think it was 85. On Megaforce and Island. And then we've got some Blue Oyster Cult with The Symbol Remains. My second spin having this. This came out in 2022, I think. Nope, 2020. The second disc is definitely heavier than the first one. Both really good, but I think the second disc is better. And some Metallica with 72 Seasons. Still titled from Godsmack. Third and final studio album with Dio with Rainbow, Long Live Rock and Roll, which is my favorite from the Dio era Rainbow. And we got some Swedish death metal with In Flames, Colony. And some Colorado thrash with Havoc. It's either V or 5, Roman numeral, who knows. And some Black Sabbath with Tony Martin, Eternal Idol, the first one they would do with him. This, I believe, came out in 88. But this is the Record Store Day 2025 reissue. Then we'll go back to the Bay Area, but this time for some death metal. Autopsy with Skull Crusher. More of an EP, just 7 songs. And came out in 2015. And this is on Peaceville, which generally mainly did like the Death Doom, but they did this one. Then the debut from Typo Negative, Slow, Deep, and Hard. Definitely still retaining some of that carnivore feel with the crossover thrash. Another debut, self-titled from Skid Row, 1989. Then we got some Latter Day Dio with Magica. Fantastic album. And the third full length from Motley Crue, Theater of Pain. And then another debut, this one from Canada's Exciter, Heavy Metal Maniac. Self-titled from Insanity Alert, a crossover thrash. Not quite sure where they are from. But this is on Seasons of Mist. And it was, let's see, recorded in 2014. Let's see if the disc says when it was released. Probably not. I'm not seeing anything where it was. Still got a few more. Morphus, Tales from the Thousand Lakes. Their second full-length album. Swedish. Kind of death doom. And then Uncle Ted with Cat Scratch Fever. second album from Iron Maiden, Killers. Fifth album from Judas Priest, Hellbent for Leather / Killing Machine. Mine says Hellbent for Leather. The almost, for another couple months, recent Megadeth album, Sick, the Dying, and the Dead. Their new album drops in January. And a couple more. DRI with Crossover. From, what year was this? 91. And this is the 2020 reissue. And then finish everything off with Descanting the however you want to pronounce it, I don't know. Carcass. Fantastic UK grindcore band, death metal band, melodic death metal band. Doesn't really matter. Every era of Carcass is great. So that is everything from the past 7 days. Hope you guys enjoy it. And I look forward to enjoying those Hyrex and Anthrax records. And we'll see you guys next time. God bless.